So, okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Bottom of the deck of your reading is Page of Air. Yeah, this is you guys, Gemini. I get the sense that this is you settling into the new normal. It's, again, as I spoke about in the introduction, this is about us getting creative, thinking outside the box about how to live our lives and go through life today. You know, amidst this mandatory stay-home order and the pandemic, and how we're interacting with people, you know, through social media more so, and doing the social distancing thing. So it's different. Life is different, and it does feel a bit surreal, but this is reality. And I know I've been hearing a lot of people saying, I want to go back to how things were. Well, that's not really going to happen. You know, there's a lot of things that may stay the same. You know, we're going to go back to work. You know, kids are going to go back to school. You know, malls and restaurants, bars are going to open up. But there's a lot of things that are not going to go back to normal. And I feel like that's going to be at the human level, how we interact with people and what we choose to hold sacred and what we choose to value from here on out. And I do get the sense that now that we're home on this mandatory pause, the divine meant for us to use this time wisely to reevaluate ourselves, reevaluate our lives, and really discern what was working, what wasn't working, and to really ask ourselves the questions. Were we truly happy with the trajectory of our lives pre-pandemic? I'm going to find that the answer is going to be no in a lot of cases. There's a lot of room for improvement, and now's the time to really focus upon that. So I feel like with the Page of Air, this is the energy allowing you to redesign and recreate the life that you want, and to create and recreate the person that you want to be, right? So there's a lot of creativity going on, a lot of creative energy, a lot of freedom to think, a lot of freedom to do. It's just all in how you look at it. It's all perspective. Some people look at this pandemic, the social distancing, as a form of prison. But it's not. This is a gift. It is a gift. We are being gifted with the gift of time. Because pre-pandemic, all you would hear people say is, I have no time in the day for X, Y, and Z. I wish I had more time to do this. I wish I had more time to focus on myself. I wish I had more time to be a better lover to my partner. I wish I had more time to be a better parent to my children. Well, guess what? You now have that time. So it's now, how are you applying that time? How are you using it? And how are you shifting and growing and up-leveling yourself to now make the improvements that you've always talked about and dreamed about, right? All right. Okay, Gemini, so let me go ahead and look at your Celtic cross. I've meditated upon it. I've got it laid out. I'm just going to take a moment to flip the cards. All right. Wow. You've got a lot of threes coming up in your reading. That's expansion on multiple levels. Yeah. So central to your reading, you're being depicted by the Seven of Fire. I feel like this is boundary setting, that this is you sort of redrawing the lines in the sand. And I do get the sense that this is you looking at how your life was going, what's happening today, and sort of creating an environment for the life that you want in the future to flourish. I think that you're coming to realization that, certain people or energy or opportunities in your life are no longer serving your highest good, and you are taking measures to create those boundaries and to draw the lines in the sand and being like, look, you cross this line, you're out. I'm no longer putting up with this type of crap or this type of behavior. This is my new truth. This is my new normal for me. And this is how things are going to be. So crossing you is the Two of Water reversed. And I feel like this is you like cutting people out that don't serve your highest good, that aren't in alignment with your truth and your values. And I also see this as you redefining yourself. These two cards combine, your boundary setting, but you're also getting into alignment with who you are, rediscovering your sense of self. And it's not the external labels that people placed upon you or that society imposed upon you. It's not the old stories that you used to tell yourself anymore that kept you boxed in, that kept you small, that kept you labeled and neatly placed in a certain little cubbyhole. No. It's time to break out of that, and you're redefining who you are on your own terms. This is you speaking your truth, coming out and saying, look, here's who I am at the soul level. And I'm not who you used to think I was. I'm not who you used to define me as. And you are coming out and doing that. And you're embracing this time period because you are taking a moment of pause and reflection. Foundational to this reading is the 4 of air. And this is you just taking that moment to reflect and meditate. And you're really putting forth that thoughtful energy behind, these new boundaries that you're setting, these new lines in the sand, so to speak. In your recent past, you have the 3 of water. So this is, I feel like this is you surrounding yourself with like-minded people, right? I feel like this could also be family and friends. Many of us are starting to rekindle and strengthen our relationships with the most important people in our lives, and that is our family and friends. Many of us pre-pandemic used to say like, oh yeah, I sort of talk to my family, or I check in with them every now and then. But I get the sense that family is now becoming a higher priority, in your list of priorities. And I feel like, it's important to nurture those relationships, because we are seeing in the news a lot of illness and sickness and tragedy and death. And I feel like that is the catalyst that we need, and to create the contrast, to recognize the value of life, the value of connection, the value of these people in your lives. But most importantly, love, the importance of love. Because without love, what else do you have? Our money is gone, right? There's a lot of us who aren't working, who are unemployed for a variety of reasons, either furloughed or our jobs are no longer available right now. And our money is tight, and we're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to pay rent, the mortgage, food, so forth? That may be gone, but your people are still there with you. Your tribe, your family, your children, your romantic partners. Love is still there for you. That's the lesson, all right? And I think you're coming into alignment with that and understanding that. Because in your mind's eye is 3 of fire in reverse. That's really getting into alignment internally with your spiritual connection. This is soul connection. And I think you're understanding that. You're understanding your tribe, your people, right? So you have 3 of water and 3 of fire. This is spiritual connection with emotional connection. Yeah, and I think you're seeing the importance of the people in your lives. Who really matter to you? Who's really there for you? Who really has your back when you need it the most? Because right now, that's what's really being depicted amidst this pandemic, is who really has your best interest, right? So yeah, so in your near future, 5 of earth, yeah, I feel like this is you just walking away from situations that don't serve your highest good, or you're cutting people out that don't serve your highest good. 5 of earth is the 5 of pentacles in the regular Rider-Waite tarot deck, and that's depicted by the image of the 2 people who are in tatters, outside on a cold, snowy night, walking by a church window, and that's being left out in the cold. So I feel like Gemini, you guys are just taking that time to just cut out the people who don't serve your highest good. We talked about that. We talked about you finding your soul tribe, connecting with the people who matter the most and cutting those out who don't, and I think you're going to feel real good about that, because it's going to have a cleansing energy associated with it once you're able to really see people for who they are. Their true colors are coming out right now. How you view yourself as messenger of earth. So this is you getting grounded, really tapping into some earth energy and establishing a routine. Right now, I don't think you have that just yet. I feel like a lot of us are like, God, it's Groundhog's Day. All we do is sleep and eat and watch movies, rinse and repeat. Well, it doesn't have to be like that, right? So if you allow yourself to use this time wisely, you can learn a new skill set. You can learn a new craft. You can turn a hobby into a money generating thing for you. There's ways to entertain and occupy your time. I get it. That's really easy just to allow our energy to lower and to take naps and to sleep and, binge watch everything on Netflix and so forth. But it's not always the healthiest and it's not the most productive. And I think what this card is coming in to tell you, Gemini, is to establish a routine, establish a sense of purpose to your day. It doesn't have to be anything monumental, but just kind of know how you're going to go throughout your day. And it's recommended that you wake up at the same time, regardless of the day, and that you eat your meals roughly at the same time. And how you fill in that in-between time between sleeping, waking, meals, and then going to bed is how you choose to do it. Maybe you could do it by day. Maybe one day you're going to focus on fitness. Maybe one day you're going to focus on school, working on a certification. Maybe another day you're going to focus on connecting with friends. Maybe another day you're going to focus on a cause, raising awareness about something that's important to you. I mean, the sky's the limit on how you want to structure your time, but it's this message is saying you need a routine. You need to structure your time, which will help with the mental clutter and your mental health overall. Yeah, in your environment, 3 of air, again, this goes right here with the 5 of earth. You're releasing painful situations that are not serving your highest good. You're healing your heart chakra. You're upgrading yourself. You're expanding your soul. And it's crazy because in your hopes and fears, you're being depicted by the king of fire. But what I'm picking up on is this heart, healing the heart. So the 3 of air in the regular Rider-Waite tarot deck is depicted by the image of the heart with the 3 swords piercing the heart. So usually breakups or painful situations or disappointments or things like that. But I feel like, since you're releasing all that, you're healing your heart. And I'm just really loving this heart image right here. I'm going to show it upright because look at that. It's warm, it's fiery, it's glowing, and it's just full of love, right? And I feel like love, seriously, is what's making this world go round right now. And it's what's going to be the change that we need, on a local level, national level, on a global level. We need more love to be infused into society because that's what's really going to bring about the changes that we desperately need and seek. Your overall outcome is 10 of earth. Prosperity, abundance, success. You're feeling really good about yourself, despite what's going on economically, globally, physically. You're feeling very balanced. You're feeling very prosperous. I feel like your outlook is positive and you know that this is temporary and that, you're setting yourself up for success, right? Because you are seriously creating the boundaries, setting the new boundaries with the 7 of fire, and you're setting yourself up for success. This is the overall outcome. So you're keeping the 10 of earth, 10 of pentacles energy up in the forefront, up right here. Yeah, and that's a great mental mindset to maintain. That's how you manifest, and that's how you remain positive, and that's how life continues to move in positive directions, is if your mindset is positive. All right. So let's go ahead, Geminis, look at some oracle messages. I'm going to pull from 3 oracle cards, or 3 oracle decks. Goddess of the Moon, Sacred Rebels, and Sacred Earth. And just see what comes out. Then we'll focus on romance and love with the Pure Love Oracle. And then we'll conclude with Nature's Whispers and Angel Messages, okay? But yeah, please comment below. Give this video a thumbs up if it resonates for you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And check out my website, awakenhealings.org. Just to kind of get to know me better and to see what it is that I offer and how we can possibly work together in the future. Let me just kind of organize these a little bit better. All right. And, oop, okay, well, that came out fast. That was like a Pop-Tart. Okay. So from your Goddess of the Moon Oracle, surrender. Reversed. Yeah. Flow with the changes, surrender, give up all your fears to the divine and say, all right, look, you know, I'm not going to push against it. I'm not going to resist these changes. I'm not going to doubt, you know, what's happening. I'm just going to surrender. I'm going to open up my heart and allow what needs to flow into my life, allow what needs to flow out of my life. So be it. Let it flow out. It's all happening for your highest good. It's all happening in divine order. So just trust the process. But the way that we can get ourselves into spiritual alignment quickly is through surrender. Yeah. All right. So you have 2 messages from the Sacred Rebels deck, and your bonus card was Inner Trust. Yeah, and I feel like this is going right in line with the surrender card. You have to trust what's happening in the universe and understand that it's happening in divine timing and for our highest good as a collective and as individuals. And it may be messy and scary and chaotic, and you may be like, what the hell? Why is this happening? You know, I'm stressed the hell out. Flow with it. Again, see the gifts hidden within the chaos, within the noise. That's the lesson. All right. And then your second card was inspiration. So it's time to get inspired, to take inspired action about how you want to move forward and progress with this new normal. This is temporary. This pause is temporary. So just know that, you know, but when society opens back up and when we're allowed to be reintroduced back into society, what do you want to bring with you? How do you want to show up? What do you want to manifest? What opportunities are you going to pursue? All that. So it's time to get inspired to think about those new dreams, those new goals, right? Maybe for those of you who are out of work, this was sort of a divine intervention saying, we knew you weren't happy there. Now's your chance to regroup, rewrite your resume, take some courses, and now go in pursuit of something else, right? Take inspired action and trust the process. Yeah. Okay. And from your Sacred Earth Oracle, it's heat, reversed. For me, I'm getting solar plexus chakra. Solar plexus is the 3rd chakra of the 7 chakra system. It's depicted with the yellow color. It's fire energy. It's where your intuition is housed, your gut feeling, your intuition. It's also where your self-confidence is housed. And your creative energy actually comes from the 2nd chakra. That's the sacral chakra. It's depicted by orange. So there are oranges here, but I feel like you show it this way, there's a lot of orange. Yeah. So yes, sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra are really coming in strongly with heat. And that's what's really going to be that creative spark, that fire energy that's going to motivate you and push you forward to follow your goals, hopes, and dreams. And again, that's, you know, King of Fire. It's, again, I feel like these 2 cards are right there energetically supporting one another. All right.